What's up, Canosaurus? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Today is Tuesday. It's August 6th. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, we're going to discuss Canopy Growth's upcoming Q1 2025 earnings. We're going to do a prep video. Try to keep these videos around 10 to 15 minutes. And essentially, we go over all of the analyst estimates and we add them up and we get an average of what to expect from all of the Wall Street analysts. And we're pretty much coming in line with most of all analysts, so it's interesting to see, and we'll see how accurate they are. But before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. We'll take a look at the chart, what to expect in terms of price action and the technicals in the days, weeks, months ahead. But as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only, and you should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. Canopy Growth to report first quarter fiscal 2025 financial results on August 9th, 2024. And that will be for the period ending June 30th, 2024. And it'll be before the market opens on August 9th, so Friday. Following the release of its first quarter 2025 financial results, Canopy Growth will host an audio webcast with David Klein, CEO, and Judy Hong, CFO, at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And there's the webcast information. So I'll do my best to join that call, and we'll do an earnings review video at some point shortly after that on Friday, more than likely. I've got a crazy busy week this week, getting back from Prince Edward Island, visiting friends and family. I had a great vacation, and I'm on a new condo board, and I'm on a couple of committees, so it's been crazy. But we'll get through it here. So we'll take a look at the analyst estimates on investing.com. They're forecasting 70.95 million. And negative 0.4587 for EPS in terms of, and that's Canadian. In terms of TradingView, they're forecasting 70.121 million and negative 0.56. So they're still expecting a pretty big loss. And then if we take a look at Moomoo, their revenue, they're forecasting 70.721 million and negative 0.484. And then EBITDA, they're forecasting negative 25.631 million. Which they forecasted negative 24 and change million last quarter, and it came in at negative 106. So that was a huge miss, and it's been getting worse. So we'll see if they can get back into a winning column here and see if we can get that trending the opposite direction. But as we know, these companies, they're planning for global domination. They're not just focusing on a few key provinces in Canada. They're also looking at the U.S., right? They're going to be acquiring acreage through that CUSA entity, through that Canopy Growth Holdings Company. Canopy USA, and we're not going to get any insight into those details more than likely into 2025, they said. There was some hiccups kind of getting all of the finalization of that done, but that'll be Jetty, Wana, and Acreage. So essentially becoming an MSO as well. And Acreage is has a big footprint in Ohio, and they just launched Ohio today. So that was some big news out of the MJ sector today. And I think there was 98 dispensaries that are commencing adult use sales. But some of the prices are just absolutely insane. It's like $7.50 USD per gram. If you look at Canada, it's like $1. You can get an ounce here for, I think, like 60, $70, and that's Canadian. So that's like $40 US. $40-$50 US, you can get an ounce here in Canada. It's not too bad. It's probably like AAA. It's not too bad at all. And then in terms of quad A, you can get a quad A for anywhere from 100 to 150. So interesting, nonetheless. But if we'd add them all up, we're expecting in terms of revenue 70.597 million, and in terms of EPS, we're forecasting negative 0.466. So like I said, interesting that they're all coming in pretty much around the same. So we'll see how accurate it is going into Friday. We'll jump into the chart here as well. Taking a look at CGC, it's Bear Flag City. We had an hourly bear flag. There's going to be a lot going on in this chart, but I'll just draw it out here. You can see here, you take your fib tool from the high to the low. Anything under 691 was an hourly bear flag. We also had hourly bear flags on the S&P 500, and we were targeting 562, and we hit 550 on that pullback. We recently confirmed an hourly uptrend, though, and we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, so we could see a little bit more of a relief rally. We do have resistance coming up at 684. But then if we zoom out here to the daily time frame, remember when I drew, I'll just get rid of this here as well. Remember when I drew the bear flag when MSOS, after the DA news of them agreeing with HHS to remove it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 and start that process. After April 30th, we went on a big, we went on a pretty big bloodbath after that. We gave pretty much the whole move back, right? So we knew MSOS pretty much gave the whole move back. It was daily bear flags and across the sector. And then we had a daily bear flag on CGC, and we get very close. We were targeting 535, and we got as low as 607. A lot of people were asking me, do you think we're still going to go to that 535? And I said, there's a good chance. And we came back up, and I think, 801, the 0.32 fib was at 801. We got as high as 865, so it ended up being a bull trap. And then obviously with the broader market weakness from yesterday and really the end of last week, we were not spared, right? So we were not immune to that broader market weakness. And then we actually came back down and we came within about 3.67% of that daily bear flag target. Now, there's another daily bear flag on watch here. If we go to zoom out a little bit here, and we go to the last week or so worth of trading, your high to the low here, and we're starting the daily bounce today. Anything under 648 was a potential bear flag, and we hit the high of 652. So if we don't pull back, if we don't get above that and we continue to pull back, then we could potentially confirm another daily bear flag. So we'll want to see us get above 652 over the next couple of days, and we need to hold key support there at 550. Lose 550, and then it's another daily bear flag confirmed, and you just take your measured move there from the high to the low, move it out to your 0.32 fib, and there gives you your measured move of about 445. I don't think that's the most likely scenario. We would need to see the S&P 500 drop to a daily lower low. So we already got the daily EMA 12 and 26 bear cross out of the way. There is some concern, though. On the weekly time frame, it's not looking too bad. We're still below the 10-week moving average, but we just had a stochastic bull cross, which usually happens first. Then we see a 10-week moving average candle close above it, and then we get the follow through on the MACD. So we haven't seen the MACD bull cross yet, but it is getting very close. And then if we take a look at the weekly moving averages, we're below all of our weekly moving averages after trying to hold it as support. So we want to get back above that ASAP, but that's a little bit of a red flag for me. And then also gearing up for a death cross with the 50-day above the 200-day moving average set to potentially cross. So if that crosses, that's what we refer to as a death cross, and that would not be good for the technicals and the price action over the next few days and weeks. So one thing, if we can get that out of the way, then, leading, as I've been saying, I don't think we're going to see any real momentum until crypto and big tech, AI, etc. enters its bear market. And then into the fall, we should start to see, rescheduling. We'll more than likely see a big push. And to quote Boris Jordan of Cureleaf, they're going to probably wait until as close to the election as possible to start pumping their MJ narrative, right? And we're already seeing today, Kamala Harris chose, what was his name? Mike, I can't remember his last name. He was out of Minnesota. No, it wasn't Mike, it was Tim Waltz. And this is the first ticket ever where both candidates, president and vice president, are pro-MJ legalization. Now, I know what a lot of people are probably thinking. It's, well, the Dems have control of the Senate and they're already in the White House. And I'm not trying to get political. I just want what's best for MJ, but this has never happened before. So the fact that we have two that are on board is a little bit different, and it's great for the sector. But, I would agree, they haven't even got safe banking done. They haven't even got rescheduling done yet. But to be fair, they are very close to getting rescheduling done, and I think it could happen this year before the elections. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and if they get rescheduling done this year, and who knows, maybe we even get descheduling. There's a slight chance, I said maybe 5-10% chance that we get descheduling, but I think it's somewhere around 80 to 90+% where we're going to get rescheduling before the end of the year, and I would think before the elections, or else, like I said, it's a political death sentence. So if we take a look at the daily bear flag, we could potentially be seeing another leg down, 445. I don't think that's the most likely scenario, but if we were to see this death cross, then at this point it's pretty choppy, right? If we zoom out to the monthly time frame, it's bear flag city. If we zoom out to the monthly time frame and get rid of some of this noise here, you can see here that we're just forming the monthly higher low, and we're still in a monthly downtrend. So we still need to confirm the higher low and higher high. So if we broke resistance there at 1492, we would be in a monthly uptrend, but we got a lot of work to do before we get there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to pull back a little bit. And if we did continue to pull back, it would more than likely be some sort of bearish momentum in the broader market. Maybe we continue to see another leg down to around 500 or a flush of 500 on SPY. Maybe we have bad earnings here on Friday. Like I said, if we take a look at their earnings, they're forecasting 70. Like I said, the average is for revenue 70.597 million, and it's just been dropping the last few quarters. We had that 108, 69, 78, 72, and they're forecasting even lower this quarter. So we'll see what happens, but at the end of the day, it's pretty choppy at the moment, and not expecting, until we can get 2 or 3 quarters back to back of these earnings positive, then I'm not really expecting much out of one earnings report, and we're probably not going to see any insight into Canopy USA financials. As we know, that's a separate entity, so they're deconsolidating all of those financials. It'll have to go under the LLC holdings company. So until they give us some insight into that, we're really just running blind, and we're probably not going to see any major shift until rescheduling as well. Once 280E goes away, that's going to be a massive change to these companies and benefit, because we're going to see tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars to some of these companies' bottom lines, right? So a lot of these earnings reports are very skewed and just not that accurate right now, because if we get rescheduling imminent, which could happen very soon, this year potentially, and then enacted at some point in 2025. Then these numbers are going to change drastically. So just keep that in mind. And, it's like trying to evaluate, looking at, the Apple report back in like 1997 and 2000 during the dot-com era, right? Trying to evaluate the company. Well, if you were a value investor like Warren Buffett, you would have missed the boat, right? And they almost went bankrupt, if not for Microsoft giving them $150 million in 1997. So, trying to be that value investor doesn't really make sense in a high growth industry, right? We've got, we're not even halfway through the first inning. There's so much growth, right? We still got majority of the ball game here worth of growth to go. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at these reports. We'll definitely be covering it, but most of the time I cover it just because people want me to. But to be honest, I don't really pay too much attention to these reports until we get rescheduling, until 280E goes away, until we get improvements to excise tax, and until we see federal legalization in the U.S. We're really just the tip of the ball game here, right? We just barely started this first inning, so we'll get there eventually. But the great thing is we're early. Bad thing is we're early. So going in it there, let me know what you think. Do you think they're going to beat in terms of analyst estimates? Shouldn't be too hard to beat. But like I said, we'll do another video covering them, and I hope you have a great evening. And it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. If you could smash a like on your way out, I would appreciate it. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next video.